An animal productivity system, in the context of a dairy farm, is the structured and managed approach to maximize the efficiency and output of milk production from dairy cows whilst ensuring their health and welfare at all times. My name is Claire Williams, and today we're going to discuss Albion Park Dairy Farm. The farm is located in Albion Park in New South Wales, where there are favourable climates and lush pastures. It's a thriving farm with a well-structured production system. There are 120 Holstein Friesian cows spread over 70 acres. These cows are renowned for their high milk production, making them a popular choice among dairy farmers. The farm uses a pasture-based feeding system with 30% white clover and 70% perennial ryegrass. This combination provides a balanced diet for the cows, ensuring they receive the necessary nutrients for optimal milk production. To maximize pasture utilization and maintain the health of the pasture, the farm employs a rotational grazing system. This means that the cows are regularly moved to different pastures to prevent overgrazing and allow the pasture to recover. The farm also uses an automated milking system to increase efficiency, reduce labor, and allow electronic monitoring of data. The health and welfare of these cows is a top priority, as we will see today. The health and welfare of cattle in Australia is regulated by the National Standards, Guides and Codes currently shown on the screen, as well as the relevant state or territory legislation. In this case, New South Wales has the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act and accompanying regulations. Good husbandry, hygiene and nutrition are essential to human health. This means we need to provide clean water, nutritious food, disease-free living conditions, companions and human interaction, access to healthcare and farrier services, room for the cattle to exercise and express their natural behaviours. All this is essential because the healthier the animals are, the more productive and therefore profitable they will be. Good agricultural practice includes a herd management plan which addresses the following: livestock identification, pasture management, food storage and handling, biosecurity and quarantine, health care, which includes vaccination, drenching, and hoof care, staff training, milk hygiene, and the use of chemicals and medications as needed. It will also address zoonotic and notifiable diseases. These management decisions underline the productivity and profitability of livestock. Welfare considerations are governed by ethics, and owners have an ethical responsibility to ensure they care for their animals in line with the 5 freedoms as shown on the screen. In addition to what we've already discussed, owners need to ensure there are provisions in place to deal with any stress, pain, or animals at the end of their lives. This is because owners are responsible for protecting their stock from disease by implementing biosecurity and using low-stress handling techniques to minimize any distress. Biosecurity initiatives include all the preventative measures designed to reduce the risk of transmitting infectious disease, invasive pests, or weeds. The National Farm Biosecurity Manual identifies 6 principles as shown on the screen relating to biosecurity. The Livestock Producers Assurance Accreditation also requires a biosecurity plan to be developed around these 6 principles. NILS is the national system for identifying and tracing cattle based on the assignment of ID codes to livestock and properties and tracking their movements through a database. All movements are accompanied by an animal health declaration, which is required by on-farm biosecurity plans. Likewise, the purchase of feed is accompanied by a commodity vendor declaration. Emergency animal diseases are a set of diseases that are likely to have a significant effect on livestock, such as mad cow disease or anthrax. The EDRA is a contractual arrangement between livestock industry groups and various levels of government that aims to reduce the risk of disease incursions and manage any responses if an outbreak does occur. Biosecurity is critically important as it protects the health and well-being of animals and humans, as well as the sustainability of farming operations. We minimize disease outbreaks that result in economic loss, we contribute to food safety, and we prevent disease outbreaks which would lead to the disposal of large numbers of animals with negative environmental impacts. Robust biosecurity measures are essential for trade and to prevent external threats impacting farms. Farms that prioritize biosecurity demonstrate their commitment to producing safe and healthy food products. Cows are a herd animal with a social order in their group. Mixing up the groups or isolating the cattle leads to lowered disease resistance, fighting, and stress. Knowledge of cattle behavioral characteristics like this informs the best way to design infrastructure to move animals using low stress or natural handling techniques. This avoids agitation and aggression, which can cause fights and unpredictability, maximizing the risk to animals and humans. Correct handling of livestock is a vital component of good animal welfare and is essential for everyone's safety. Identifying high-risk points is also essential to keep animals calm. Calm animals are less dangerous, so we avoid injuries and accidents. Animals using their natural behaviors will feel less threatened and present less of a danger. They will also move where they are required to go more easily. Low stress stock handling techniques are based on encouraging these behaviors through the positioning of handlers to achieve the desired results. These can be applied to all situations and considered best practice. Not only is it safer and a legal requirement, but it also improves overall animal welfare and efficiency. We need to remember that although cows have a wild field of vision, they have a blind spot directly behind them. Moving into this area can cause agitation and aggression. Regardless of the wild field of view, cows only see well within a narrow limit directly in front of them. They are poor judges of detail and distance, and they dislike dark and shadowy areas. So it will be difficult and stressful to move cattle through or into infrastructure which is dark or shadowy, so is best avoided. Cattle have three personal space or pressure zones surrounding them. A cow that is used to being handled will have a smaller pressure zone, which is why ensuring cattle are familiar with human interactions is essential. Livestock are most easily moved by entering their pressure zone, but entering their flight zone will cause them to panic and scatter, or moving into the fight zone will cause them to become aggressive. So either way, moving into the fight or flight zones will result in an unpredictable animal. There are 2 points of balance for cattle, and it's the farmer's position in relation to these points of balance and the personal space zone that determines which way the cattle will actually move. As you see on the screen, the 2 points of balance are behind the shoulder blades and the center of the head to tail axis. By moving behind the shoulder blades, the animal will move forward, but if the animal moves in front of it, the animal will turn away or move backwards. Moving either side of the head to tail axis will move the animal sideways. These are known as natural handling techniques. And to move the livestock in this manner, the farmer simply moves into the animal's pressure zone in the appropriate location. Once the animal responds, the pressure should be released by a person leaving the pressure zone. Continual pressure will simply cause the animal to lie down, break away from the herd, or trigger a fight response, which delays us and can be dangerous. At times, it's necessary to move animals into a yard or forward through a race as shown on the screen. Understanding the points of balance and the pressure zone makes these processes smoother, less stressful, and safer to all, as shown on the screen. When moving stock in a paddock, moving between the pressure and flight zones allows us to calmly move the stock. Alternating between pressure and flight zones is more effective than applying continuous pressure. And here we can see the appropriate zigzag movement which farmers can make to move the cattle forward. At Albion Park Dairy Farm, animal health and welfare is at the core of all operations. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, just point them below. Otherwise, here's the reference list, and thanks so much for coming along.